Hey everybody, today is July 21st, 2021, and we're here with another weekly Las Vegas Advisor update. Now, the COVID numbers are on the rise, and everybody wants to know what's happening with the masks.
Right. Well, in Vegas, it's different everywhere, I guess. You're from L.A., right?
Yeah.
And in L.A., masks are back, correct?
Yeah.
Not quite so in Vegas. So there's been a change in that all employees at all businesses, casinos, restaurants, wherever, supermarkets have to now wear masks, whether they're vaccinated or not.
Right.
That has not extended to the customers yet. So those of you who are coming to Las Vegas, you should have a mask in tow, but you're not necessarily going to be made to wear it. Well, as of now, you are not going to be made to wear it.
Yep.
Now, how long will that last? It's hard to say because the casinos are already, I think, starting to change their tune. Mm-hmm. Whereas they had signs posted earlier, during the summer saying, masks are not required if you're vaccinated. Now it's saying whether you are or not, masks are encouraged.
Right.
So they might be getting ready to do it again, that we've got to wear them again to go in, but as of now, not so.
Right. And they also pulled down all of the dividers from the tables. Do you think they're going to bring the dividers back?
It's hard to say because, again, they're getting the casinos are posturing again. They're getting ready for this bad news.
Yeah.
And just like in the beginning, they're ultra afraid that they're going to get in trouble. So anytime there's any mandate that comes down from the governor or from the state authorities, they're going to jump on it real fast. So we might see plexiglass back. I don't think so. Mm-hmm. We might see masks back. I also don't think so about that.
Okay.
We'll find out. All I know, though, is that this will be in effect until August 17th.
Right.
So they're going to let it run for about a month, and then they're going to reevaluate it, and then we'll see what happens then.
Right. And we'll keep you updated. And, in more exciting and worldly news, the Olympics is back. Yay, the Olympics. Now, can you bet on Olympic sports, Anthony?
Well, for decades, you could not. Mm-hmm. They would not allow it because basically Olympics were considered amateurs. And in the beginning, they didn't want amateurs to be bet on, even though they're betting on college and all this different thing. Of course, the Olympics not about amateurism at all anymore. It hasn't been for years and years. So a couple Olympics ago, they changed the rule. And you may now bet on Olympics if they put up lines, as long as they are not judged events.
Right.
So something like diving or something like gymnastics, mm-hmm. there will not be lines on that because it's based on judging.
Right.
But all of the others, the
like
track,
basketball.
Yeah, track and field events, mm-hmm. basketball, there will be lines up if the casinos want to make lines.
Right.
A lot of them won't because even though they've been allowed to make lines in the recent Olympics, there's not a lot of interest in that.
Right.
So you might not be able to find a line in every casino, but you will be able to find lines.
What are some of the more interesting bets?
Well, the ones that people are most interested in are basketball.
Okay.
And that's where they're all, almost every place you will find a line on the men's and women's Olympic basketball team. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who want to know what it is right now, if you've been following it, the men's Olympic team didn't start off too well. They lost to Nigeria. They lost to Australia, but they are still minus 500 favorites, meaning you have to bet $500 to win $100.
Oof.
That's a big favorite.
Yeah.
Even more so are the women. Mm-hmm. The women also lost a couple of their early tune-up matches, but they are still 1,400 mm-hmm. to what minus 1,400, which means you've got to bet $1,400 to win $100.
That sounds like a lot to lay on the line.
Yeah, I won't be doing that.
Yeah.
So. But that's it. And, if you find an Olympic bet, and you want to bet it, bet it. But
yeah.
most people don't look for it. You'll probably find it on basketball.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really interesting because I never knew you could even bet on the Olympics, but now you know. Other news in Vegas, the Sands Expo will now become the Venetian Expo. Why do you think that is?
They're changing their name, mm-hmm. and that's all they're doing. Nothing else is changing. They're changing their name because of the sale. Mm-hmm. And, if you recall, in the beginning of the year, the Venetian Palazzo and the Expo were sold mm-hmm. to a couple of companies that nobody's ever heard of called Apollo and Vici. This is going to go through by the end of the year, and they're changing it so it won't be Sands owned anymore, so they don't want to call it the Sands Expo.
All right. Well, that makes sense. One of our favorite local bars is going to be expanding downtown. The Sand Dollar is moving to the Plaza.
Yeah, a lot of sand news in this one. We go from the Sands Expo to the Sand Dollar. The Plaza is going to use their showroom, I believe, to turn it into a nightclub of sorts, but even better, sort of a blues club. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an extension of the Sand Dollar Lounge, which has been around Vegas since I think 1976.
Oh wow!
Real famous blues bar located very close. We can see it from our office. Mm-hmm. It's about a mile, less than a mile, half a mile west of the Strip on Spring Mountain Road, and they're going to take everything they did at the Sand Dollar and take it down to the Plaza. Sometime around the fall, I think that's supposed to open. They're going to have craft beers. They're going to have pop-up pizzas. Their own pop-up pizza is going to be operating there, and they're going to have live music.
Yeah.
So, more for the downtown entertainment music scene. It keeps evolving down there.
It really does. I was actually hanging out in the Arts District last night, and there were like 2 different comedy shows going on at the Artifice and 18 Ben, and that whole area is just really exploding with life and great food and beer.
This might be the one area of Vegas that you know better than me, because, you're down there performing.
I'm down there a lot.
You're down there hanging out.
Also, in Las Vegas entertainment news, last week we featured Elaine Nu on our episode, who was going to attempt to bend 100 spoons using his mind and mentalism. So we went to the show, we had a great time. And Anthony, was he able to accomplish this feat?
Well, I was the official counter.
Yes.
And I can tell you that as I was counting them, because not all the spoons were bent that I was supposed to count, so I'd take a straight spoon and put it on the side. And he was only at something like 89 or something, and I'm out of spoons. And I thought, oh man, this guy failed.
Yeah.
And the way they set these things up, these magicians are fabulous. He had something in his back pocket, and basically was to go out to the audience who had not submitted their spoons yet, and he miraculously found another 13 spoons, and he went to 102.
Yes.
So that's one reason we brought it up, to say yes, he was successful, but also, I wanted to say I really enjoyed the show.
Yeah. I like the show, and also the spoons, part of the spoon bending was audience participation, and that was unexpected and also really fun.
Well, people are, the price of entertainment's going up, and everyone's looking for a bargain on a show. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a bargain at $57, but it's still one of the cheapest shows in town. Look around for deals. If you find a discount or 2 for 1 or something on Alain Nu, the man who knows, it's probably worth taking. It's pretty good. I'd say for $30, I think it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and we look forward to reporting again next week.